and welcome to this week's episode of Think Tank Thursday. I'm Candy Kelly, and I'm thrilled to be with you this week. Thank you for coming. Before we begin, we want to thank our 2023 Think Tank sponsors. They are inclusive of Simnox, Redemption Plus, Roller, Betson, Delta Strike. We appreciate their support, which helps us to offer new episodes to you each and every week. So, you guys have heard me say it a million times at this point, I'm sure. Career Entertainment likes to take a break from the doing and spend some time thinking. And this week, we're going to spend that time thinking a little bit about what are you doing for your own personal development? We get so caught up in the business development. What are you doing for personal development? And so this week, our guest is my friend Danny Gruening. You guys should know him from Creative Works, but we're going to talk a little about something else, a passion project of his he's been working on for a while. So why don't we jump right in? Welcome to Think Tank Thursday, Danny. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing, Candy?
I am excited to have you back as a guest.
I'm excited to be back. You sent me an email and wanted to get on again, and I said, yes, absolutely. Let's make it happen.
Awesome. Well, for those who may not know, tell everyone who you are, kind of what you do in the industry, and all of those fantastic things.
Yeah, so my name is Danny Gruening. I am the VP of Business Development at Creative Works. And Creative Works, we design and fabricate attractions for the family entertainment industry. That's kind of the standard answer. The more exciting answer is we create powerful emotions and memories, and we help entertainment venues get customers off the couch and into their center. And I got started in this industry. I'll give a little bit of background. I got started in this industry at a very, very young age. At 15 years old, first job ever was at a laser tag facility, which was way cooler than working at a grocery store or fast food or anything like that. And then from that point, did that through high school and college, and then ended up just kind of staying in the industry. Did some, spent a couple of years at Disney in Orlando, and then got onto the vendor side of the industry. And I haven't left because it's pretty fun.
How good were you at laser tag back in the day?
Really good. Very, very good. Yes.
Well, you've been with Creative Works for quite some time now, so that's where most people should know you. But in the past couple of years, you've had a bit of a passion project that you've been working on. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So the passion project is something called a mastermind. And most people listening to this are probably going to go, a what? Because it's not a term that many people are familiar with, and a lot of people can use it in different ways. But essentially, to give a little bit of context for myself, a few years ago, I joined a mastermind myself to be in one because I wanted something to help with my own personal growth, my own leadership development, because I had been going to events, I had been reading books, I had been listening to podcasts, doing all those things. But I knew that I could accelerate things faster by surrounding myself with the right kind of people on a regular basis. And so I joined one, and I'm still in that same group now. I think it's been 4 years. And through that process, I learned so much. I grew so much. And I looked around our amusement industry, and I didn't see a lot of places where people are providing that kind of a group kind of coaching environment specifically about personal development and personal growth. And so I started on this journey to be able to start my own mastermind groups and be able to spread this kind of impact that I've felt in my own life and my own career, because it affects me in every single way, because everything that we do up here affects our relationships and our business and our life and our goals and everything. So that's kind of how it got started. And, fast forward to now, and we've been going for over a year, and I've got a couple groups, and it's just been incredible.
That is awesome. So you said it's a mastermind that's focused on personal development. There's so many groups out there for business development, that, however, they're so intertwined. And if you don't believe that, then you should probably find a mastermind. But what are the key focuses of your particular mastermind?
Yeah, so it really all starts, so much of it with mindset and self-awareness. That is kind of the foundation that hits on so many different things. The outcomes that a lot of the clients in these groups get are things like goal accountability. They get the peer-to-peer mentoring with others in our industry, leadership skills. They're able to have more impactful communication, a greater sense of fulfillment and joy, because that's something that we also don't tend to talk about a lot. We talk about the business success and the numbers and the metrics. And yes, those are really important. But if you have those metrics and you feel miserable or you don't feel fulfilled, then it's not very like that. That to me is not success, right? And so it's focused on also trying to find and create fulfillment and joy every single day, regardless of what's happening around us.
Awesome. I think it's interesting that you brought up that what is success, because there's so many variations of that. I have an aunt, and she has been called into her manager's office several times to be offered the next step up. And she's like, I'm happy. I love where I am. I love the clients that I have. I don't really care to go up. Like, I'm really fulfilled. And they're always like flabbergasted that she does not want to go up. She's like, I've hit what I wanted out of this job. Like, I love the people I work with. I love what I'm doing. Like, I don't need to go further. And like, it's so hard to wrap our brains around that.
There's that sense of self-awareness and knowing what you want and what brings you joy is super important, because when we don't know, we default to the expectations of others. And those expectations are get the promotion, move up, do these different things. And if we do that without realizing what we actually want, a lot of times people can end up being miserable by doing that. And I applaud your aunt for knowing that. It reminds me a little bit of Kim Scott, who wrote Radical Candor. She has a philosophy of rock stars and superstars as employees, and they're both necessary and both important to a company's growth. A superstar is the person who wants more responsibility, wants the promotion, wants to move up, wants all those things to take on more. And your aunt is the rock star. She's the one that says, this is my role. I know it. I love it. I want to stay in this role, and I want to do it to the best of my ability. And that's amazing. And she knows that's what she wants. And it allows the company to have, companies need both those things.
Yep. Makes sense. So you just listed some of the benefits of joining the mastermind in terms of, your particular mastermind. But there are like the just general benefits of a mastermind too. It's been studied a lot in the past couple of years. So I wondered if you could share some of those just generalized benefits of being in a mastermind or being with other people who are in a similar place to you.
I think I'm going to point out two different things. One is community and one is celebrating wins. So in our industry, one of the things I love most about events is being face-to-face with other people in the room, because there's such energy that comes from that. And the fact that so many in our industry are willing to share what works in their business, and they want to help each other grow. They want to help each other's businesses get better. And I love that. But part of the problem is if you go to an event once a quarter or once every 6 months or once a year, you get that energy and then it drains over time. And then you get the energy again and then it drains over time. And it's these spikes and valleys. And a mastermind is a community. It's a small community. What I do, the groups are less than 8 people. And so you have this very small knit group of people that you build really strong relationships and bonds with over time, build high levels of trust. And that sense of community is so, so important. I can't understate how important that has been to myself in the group that I've been a part of, as well as myself in the groups that I lead and all of the people that are in that group. Having that sense of community and knowing I'm going to have that group every single week that I'm going to meet with for an hour, that I can show up as my real self. Sometimes things are going really well. Sometimes they're facing challenges, and they can be honest and open about that. And it's a really amazing environment. And then the other one is wins. So high achievers suck at celebrating wins. Flat out. It's just true, because what happens is we accomplish something, we get that win, we achieve it, and then our minds immediately go, okay, what's next? We're immediately on the horizon of the next thing that we want to accomplish, the next thing that we want to do. And we don't even give ourselves much space to even take a moment to celebrate. And so one of the things that we do at the beginning of every single meeting is we celebrate wins from the last week. And that is an important muscle that the members of these groups have been able to build and flex over time. Because even when you've had a really bad week and things have gone poorly at your business or at your job or whatever's happening, there's always going to be at least something that you can point to as a win. And for anyone who's unsure about what that might be, I would have you answer one question. What went well today, or what went well this week because of you? The answer to that question is a win. And I think that the more that we can learn to flex that muscle, especially when circumstances surrounding us are challenging, that allows us to show up better and have a greater impact on our families and our friends and our businesses and everyone else.
I imagine that can be a bit of a struggle to begin with when you're first starting a mastermind. So, what are some of the probing questions that you get for people, or like when they're like, I'm just not sure what is, because the term is celebratory. Like, what win is big enough to celebrate? And it's actually, I know what you're trying to do is change the perspective about they're all good enough to celebrate. But I know it's a struggle probably in the beginning because you're working with high achievers.
Yeah, that term you just used, big enough, is the key, right? Because a lot of times people want to look at what was the giant contract I signed or what was the big milestone that we achieved. And not every week is going to have some gargantuan thing. And it doesn't have to be. And that's the point. I love celebrating the big ones when they happen. But to me, it's more important of finding those small little moments that aren't as big. Because what ends up happening, especially toward the beginning when people are not as accustomed to doing this, is they'll say, well, I don't know what was a win this week. And will continue asking questions and seeing what went well this week. And they kind of start talking and talking. And then after a couple minutes, they ended up listing off 5 or 6 wins that they were completely discounting, not counting as a win at all. And then when they get the perspective and the rest of the group is celebrating, like, oh my gosh, those are amazing wins. They go, oh yeah, I guess they are. But it's that perspective and the awareness about the things that are going well in life and in business.
Awesome. Danny, how are your masterminds structured? I think I've heard you say it's an hour each week, 8 people, but give us the rundown. How are they actually structured?
Yeah, so it's a small group. Like I said, it's normally 5 to 7 people are the total for the group. And it's we meet at the same time and same day every single week to kind of keep that consistent on everybody's calendar. And it's a 1-hour call. And I work as a facilitator very, very hard to cap it at 1 hour because there are some times when we have conversations and things are going that I don't want to stop, but I have to be respectful of everybody's time because, we all have a lot on our plates. We have a lot to do. And so every call is structured in a fairly similar way. We start by celebrating wins. Then after that, we review if there was a challenge from the previous week or something to do or focus on. We kind of recap what that was. And then we introduce the new topic for the week, the new framework, the new learning model, whatever that may be. I give some context and I have a series of questions that we'll go through and have an amazing conversation around that, understanding different people's perspectives, their experiences, and learning from one another. And at the end of the call, we set the challenge for the next week, which is based upon the things that we talked about in that call of either something to do, something to think about, something to focus on, and having that awareness and the focus around kind of the important things in our lives.
And what's the commitment time? Like, do these run for 12 weeks? Is it infinite? Is it as long as you want to be in it?
Yeah, so everyone starts out with a 6-month minimum commitment because it takes that amount of time to build the foundation. And then after that, it's month to month. And, people can stay in as long as they find value. And I have people, I launched my very first group in January of 2022, and I have clients from that group that are still in the group because they continue to find that value. And it's that consistency of showing up, of learning, of the community, of the wins that is so valuable to everyone. And that's why they keep going.
Awesome. Well, we have focused a bit on what others can get out of your mastermind, but I'm curious to know what's been the most surprising lesson for you as the facilitator of these masterminds.
Surprising lesson. That's an interesting question. I think maybe one of the surprises in a way is, so I'll give a little bit of backstory. So for myself, in the group that I've been in for 4 years, I know how important it is for me to be there every single week. And I measure my weeks by it. It's actually the one that I'm in is like the end of the day on Friday afternoons. And so it's how I end my week, and I kind of put a punctuation point on it. And for the last 4 years on Fridays, that's how it's kind of been one of my anchors for the week, one of my North Stars, so to speak. And I've known the importance of that for me. And I don't know why, but in a way, it's been surprising seeing the people in the groups that I lead have the same experience with the group. I actually had I was talking with one of the clients just a couple of weeks ago, and he mentioned it whenever he has to miss a call because maybe he's on the road for a trade show or something like that. He feels off because the group is his North Star and it's kind of like an important anchor point for his week. And even though that was my experience, it's kind of humbling and really fulfilling in a way to see that others are having that same experience as well.
Awesome. Very cool. What is it that excites you the most about what you do in this?
What excites me most, I would say there are two things. Number one is the sense of fulfillment that I get from doing this. This has been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my entire career, and I absolutely love it. And the other part of it is, and this is part of what makes it fulfilling, I love what I call the aha moments. When we're having a conversation and someone poses a question or someone gets a piece of context that completely changes the way they think about something and go, oh man, wow, I never thought about it that way. Those aha moments where we have kind of a shift in the way we think, and it doesn't have to be some groundbreaking giant aha. It can be tiny little things in the way that we view our work or productivity or our habits. Those aha moments to me are super exciting because I know what it's like to have those for myself. And when I can facilitate an environment where others can get that, it's amazing.
So you said you started this in January of 2022. And before that, you've been on leadership teams, part of leadership, studying leadership. You said through like books and podcasts and all of that stuff. So you've collected a lot of advice over your time as being a leader. So what's that one piece of advice that you give back out to the world?
So I'm going to answer your question with a non-answer first, and then I'll give a real answer. So the non-answer is that I don't usually have one piece of advice because it's all contextual, right? What is the thing this person is struggling with? And are they trying to build more trust? Are they trying to focus on culture? Are they trying to delegate more? Are they trying to get better with their time management? There's so many different things that they can focus on. And depending on what they're trying to do, that will dictate the advice that they need to hear. That being said, there is a quote that I really, really like from a guy named Benjamin Zander. He is the conductor of I believe it's the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra. And the quote goes like this: "The conductor of an orchestra doesn't make a sound. For his power, he depends on his ability to make other people powerful. My job is to awaken possibility in others." I love that line because if business leaders, whether you have the title or not, if business leaders approached every day and thinking about how can I make other people powerful, how can I awaken possibility in the people that I lead, imagine the impact that would happen in every business.
Very powerful. Yep. You know, True Entertainment believes that the power is in growing others, and then your business grows with it. You invest in people, and so what you invest in. And so totally in line there. So, you know, we prefer to in Think Tank, we ask every person the same signature question. And you've been asked this question before, but it's been some time. So sometimes you give us a great book or different things, but I'm curious to know what you're doing right now on a consistent basis to grow yourself.
So I'm not going to mention a specific book. The thing that I'm really focused on right now is my morning routine. And so this a little bit comes from a book, but I am currently rereading The 5 a.m. Club. And essentially, I have been doing a lot of the things from that book without having read the book before. And then I read it starting this year. And I have the first 90 minutes to 2 hours of my day, because I wake up at 5, where I don't look at a device. I don't read the news. I don't look at email, social media, texts. I don't do any of that. I focus on setting the foundation for myself, which consists of, for me, reading, journaling, breathing exercises, a little bit of stretching, some of those things to set my own foundation for the day, so that when I do get to the point where I do check emails and the news and texts and all those other things, I have already set my own state. I know how I want to show up in the world, and I'm less reactionary to the things that I see. Because let's be honest, if we look at our phones first thing in the morning, whatever we see is probably not good news, and it's probably not going to make us very happy, right? And so I have learned over time for myself that when I can set that foundation every single morning, which for me at this point is a non-negotiable, I show up better every single day.
Very cool. Beth has said something similar. She when she gives up her, she calls it her writing time, because she used to she likes to get up, and that's when her brain is like the clearest as to like the message that she wants to put, pen to paper for. And she's like, so when that gets interrupted because of an early morning flight or who knows what happens, she feels off for the rest of the day, because she has so many ideas and thoughts in her head that like she didn't have that time in the morning to put the pen to paper. So
yeah, it's super important.
Well, this has been incredibly informational and insightful. I have known that you were doing this mastermind. I haven't known a lot of information about it. So thank you for being willing to come and share about it on this platform. I'm sure there's going to be someone out there who's like heard you and was like, oh my gosh, you just talked about mindset and self-awareness and accountability and having somebody who is in my same world to talk to. That is me. I need that. So where do you want to send them if they want more information or want to connect with you?
Yeah, it's simple. myname.com. So DannyGruening.com. Last name is a bit of a weird spelling, but I'm sure you'll have that somewhere on the screen or in the description somewhere. Yeah, DannyGruening.com, and they can find more information there.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.
I want to say thank you to Danny for coming and sharing so honestly and openly about this mastermind group that he started over a year ago now, and what we can all expect if we choose to find out more information about that. So thank you, Danny, for spending time with us and sharing with our audience. Thank you, all of you, for taking time out of your day to watch this and to spend time with Think Tank Thursday. You're the reasons that I show up each and every week. Again, thank you to my 2023 Think Tank sponsors. And then if you have a Think Tank idea, if you want to be a guest on Think Tank, or if you'd like to sponsor an episode, please contact me at candy@trainertainment.net. Also, be sure to check out where you can connect with us in real life. All of our upcoming events and appearances can be found at trainertainment.net under our events menu. If there's any way that we can help you with coaching and training in an online, on-site, or ongoing way, we're your people. We're happy to help. So thank you all, and I'll see you at the next episode.
Introducing Mobile Wallet, the next gen in cashless fueled by Embed. Your virtual game card is added to the mobile wallet with no app download required. Just scan the QR code, then create your account in the mobile portal. Guests can do a quick reload of their game cards anytime, anywhere without leaving the game. They can also skip the kiosk and cashier lines, and there's no need for a balance check machine. With advanced security and encrypted tech, Embed's mobile wallet is the only FEC business solution compliant and approved by both Google and Apple.